So, I am not one for response videos, but I recently went to my YouTube subscription feed and found a new video from MandRproductions entitled The Truth About LEGO Star Wars Minifigures. And I do enjoy these kind of videos from Ryan sometimes. So, I checked it out. I have some thoughts. Now, okay, I'm not trying to start any drama here at all. I myself have been an M&R fan for 3 years, and even made a couple fan videos. Although, I have not been watching him as much lately because I feel like a lot of his LEGO opinions have been a bit cynical, maybe even overly cynical. And with that, I myself am a very optimistic person, unless we're talking LEGO ideas. So, who knows, some of this could be just me being naive, but just wanted to share my opinion and feel free to disagree. So, most of this video is Ryan claiming that LEGO lied to us, oh, feel betrayed.
This video is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about LEGO Star Wars. As I've come to find out, though, there is a lie that the LEGO group has perpetuated, and they've allowed people like myself to perpetuate for them so that they don't have to take any flack, and for what I can only reasonably ascertain to be for their financial gain, and of course at the cost of us, the fans.
As well as claiming it to be the truth. Is it, though? What exactly is his evidence for that? Let's take a look. So he starts that he got most of this information given to him from LEGOBot35, who most of the time is a very reliable source. However, he got it from an anonymous source, who supposedly knows what they're talking about.
However, I have a truly shocking revelation for you today. The other night, I received a phone call from the one and only LEGOBob35. I was promptly told to stop what I was doing because there was a bombshell about. That bombshell? LEGO has always been able to sell Star Wars minifigures as they please. And while I cannot name the source because they prefer to be anonymous, this person absolutely knows what they're talking about.
Except, hold up, anonymous source. That's not a good sign. Plus, why? What makes him such a trustworthy source? What makes him so reliable? Where does this person get that information? Ryan doesn't say. Or at least think to just take it with a grain of salt. Because it's anonymous. You don't know. Could be reliable, could be unreliable. I'm not saying this source is false, but it does sure sound like one person told another person type thing. An anonymous source could tell me that LEGO's licensed a deal with Hasbro to make Transformer sets. Doesn't make it automatically true. Yet, this seems to be Ryan's main source, but fine, whatever. Now to Ryan's main claim that LEGO lied and they really could make LEGO Star Wars collectible minifigures the whole time, like the CMF series they've been doing since 2010. And it's according to this anonymous source that they could have done this all along. However, Ryan mostly claims that LEGO's being just truthful because the common knowledge to fans before was LEGO never sold CMFs or Star Wars minifigures because Hasbro owned the Star Wars figure license. But they lied because they supposedly could have sold Star Wars figures this whole time, and they made LEGO ambassadors like him say otherwise.
And two, I pride myself on honesty. As the most influential voice in LEGO Star Wars space, I feel like I have been used to push a lie. And that really does not sit well with me, like, at all. For example, literally every time for the last decade plus that I have gotten a comment or a question or whatever about LEGO Star Wars minifigures and why can't LEGO sell these minifigures on their own? Why is there no LEGO Star Wars CMF? I would, of course, respond to those comments and explain that Hasbro owned the rights to make Star Wars action figures and LEGO was just a victim of circumstance. I defended them for way too long. Way too long. Although I certainly don't blame myself and wouldn't expect anyone else to, because how could I have known? How could I think a company that is supposed to be so great, only the best is good enough, would just lie to us like this? It's really honestly put me through the bender here the last few days that I've had to think about it. It's been like a real tough revelation. It's like I was told 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore.
But, first thing here, did LEGO ever actually say that was the reasoning? That we know of, no. The closest thing is Ryan shows in one part of the video that they gave a message to someone and they said they couldn't sell figures because of a license, but they didn't say Hasbro was a license. Thus, that was just the fans that assumed that. So he's basing his claim on an anonymous source theorizing that the overlords at LEGO seeing people online blaming Hasbro and, oh yeah, let's go with that. That'll cover us nicely. Except, we don't really know if that's what LEGO is thinking. They never said Hasbro was the reason why they never made figures, so how exactly did they lie? It was just fans' knowledge and speculation. And if they did want to lie or cover up, what exactly would be the reasoning? I mean, I guess just them not wanting to, but hey, it's their company. They could do what they want. And then he goes on to give some potential evidence for how this claim is true, and to be fair, some of it is actually slightly possible. Main one being how there was a LEGO Ideas project that was rejected that looked suspiciously similar to buildable figures that came out 2 years later. Of course, it could just be a Ghostbusters Firehouse situation where LEGO just coincidentally had it in development at the same time as the Ideas project. Or with them selling these minifigure magnets where you could clearly remove the minifigure itself off, but then they later glued them. But okay, at least these two situations I can kinda see. But most of these examples are, oh, one time they released a minifigure in a bag, why can't they do CMFs? Sure, they are technically selling the minifigures, but they still come with a build or a buildable stand. Not quite the same as CMF. There's a slight difference between this and this. But then, okay, there's a few situations where they did straight up sell minifigures in a bag, similar to a poly bag or a CMF. Except, those were supposed to be promos. Even Ryan said this.
That's right. LEGO was selling Silver Stormtroopers for $3 each through Toys R Us. Now, they were supposed to be a gift with purchase, but they were being sold anyway. And if selling minifigures on their own individually, like they would want you to believe, was such a big deal that they couldn't do it, then this wouldn't be happening. But now you could say, hey, this was, in fact, I believe, I've collected LEGO Star Wars in a long time, and so, hey, you would say, oh, maybe, you know, they saw this, they're like, hey, we need to clean this up, make sure this doesn't happen again. Well, it kept happening.
They were intended as promos, not on store shelves. And if they were on store shelves, well, that's on the store. Plus, you cannot just expect LEGO to keep track of every single store with minifigures. So, you're starting to get my thoughts here. I notice most of Ryan's claims against LEGO here come from either this one questionable source or his own research evidence. And looking for evidence and researching is fine, but he claims it as the truth.
And it's really interesting when you look at it through the lens of knowing the truth now. My mind is blown that this is true. Clearly because they're lying.
But what is truth? What's the definition? The quality or state of being true, or a fact or belief that is accepted as true. So, truth is fact. And just because you have one source and some evidence doesn't automatically make it fact. Ryan even says in the video that he thinks this would have made a good conspiracy theory a year or two ago.
You know what I think is fascinating about this whole thing too? I could have made this video like 2 years ago, and it would have been an incredible conspiracy theory. Like if I had thought about it this way and looked at it this way and gone through and been like, oh, here's this is interesting, right? Maybe, maybe LEGO, maybe it's not true. But I could have presented this as an incredible conspiracy theory that I think a lot of people could have gotten behind. But knowing that it's true is insane.
But in my opinion, that's all this is. It's a good fan conspiracy theory being presented as fact. And that bothers me. And what's even sadder is the entire comment section just totally buying into it instead of thinking through it themselves. I still believe that LEGO could be playing a LEGO Star Wars CMF series, although I personally think a Star Wars CMF series doesn't work unless it's based on a certain section of Star Wars, but that's an argument for another time. I think LEGO could be just testing the waters with the upcoming MCU CMF series, and then they'll eventually get to Star Wars. But I guess till then, we'll have to wait and see. But that's all I have to say about this situation, and feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And let's pray I don't get too much heat for this. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and be sure to subscribe for more future videos. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace out.